Oh, I'm like, wait, hold on. This is like drug addiction right here. He hit me up, he was like, yo, Smokepurpp's doing a session, you wanna come by? And I came by, I played him I played him a couple songs. I'm like, I'll get the dumbest tattoo of all. I was like, I'll get my face, you know? And so I got that. Picked last in gym class, you know? But then like, also like the team that I would be picked to play on, they would be like angry that I was on the team, because that means, you know, I'm about to fuck it up, you know? I'm about to really bring the average down.
Hi, this is Lauren Engel of Sidewalk Talk. Today I'm here with Jack Bruno.
Hi. Hi everybody.
So you're born in Plano, Texas?
Yeah, I was born in Texas, and I lived there till I was like 12, 13. And I moved out to LA.
Are your parents and all your extended families in Texas?
They're from Texas, and like I have a couple of siblings. One of them lives in Texas still. The others are all over here.
What do your parents do, or back then?
My parents? They work like creative. My mom works more of like creative product stuff. You know, she makes things, and then my dad is more of like a business person. So,
well, what kind of business?
Oh, we want to talk about my parents.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh. They do more, they're more in the hair industry and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So they work together, or?
Yeah, sometimes they work together, sometimes they do like separate jobs and stuff, and I don't know, they're very, they're interesting people. They're interesting people.
Are they really into music as well?
Not like, yes, like they appreciate music, they like music, but it's never like, you know, like I don't think they could name like certain songs that are their like favorite songs, you know, but they appreciate, like my mom will have like certain, she likes the Beastie Boys, like certain weird ones, you know, that she like really likes, or like Eminem, I know she's like, my dad is like Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, there's another one, oh, the Killers, like they have like weird, you know, little modern things that they like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was always like, and my siblings too, my older brother was always into hip hop when I was like really young. He was always listening to like Tupac and like shit like that, so.
Do you think you got your creative side from your mom, or where do you think it came from?
Maybe. I think it was just like, I don't know, like I don't know, like I think just seeing music is just like what I was like gravitated to when I was younger, you know, like I tried playing, you know, I went through like every sport and couldn't play at all to save my life, and like I was like the kid that was like picked last in gym class, you know, but then like also like the team that I would be picked to play on, they would be like angry that I was on the team, because that means, you know, I'm about to fuck it up, you know, I'm about to really bring the average down. So like, like that was, I think like that attitude that I had with the sport, it just made me like not like the you know, popular shit, you know? It just made me, and being from Texas too, like it's you know, there's like they go to work, you know, with their parents. A lot of people just work with their parents. A lot of people go to be like doctors and lawyers, which is cool, you know, we need that shit, but for me as a person, like I could never, like I can't do that type of stuff. It's like I have to, like, I don't like school, I don't like you know, like system, you know, like I like music because you can make up your own, you know, thing.
So even from a young age you kind of thought that you would have a career in music somehow? Oh yeah,
it was since I was like 9 years old.
Oh wow.
9 years old I started playing guitar, and it was something finally I could do, and like from that I was like, even at an early age I was like, this is what I'm gonna do, like I'm gonna start a band, I'm gonna take it seriously. I probably took it more seriously when I was like 9, 10 years old than I do now. So. Like,
what did your parents think of you already knowing at such a young age they want to do music?
I think they thought it was cool, you know, like, but I really don't know, like, I think it might be weird. Like, I'm trying to think about it from a different perspective, like a 10-year-old kid being like, I want to be a musician, you know?
Yeah.
But then, like, that's normal, I feel like. But then, like, to actually be playing guitar and be like, no, like, I'm writing songs now. Like, no, I'm starting a band now, like, I gotta figure out how to do this. It's probably, I don't know, I think it's just like a fun energy. I think
So they weren't ever really worried about you trying to make a living off it, like, initially, or like the difficulties of being a musician?
I mean, they just, like, they were never like giving me pressure to go to college or anything like that. They were just like, it was just like my dad was like, yo, you have to get a high school diploma, which I did. I just don't know where it is. Gotta be honest. I was talking about this yesterday. I was like, I had this dream that I didn't actually have a diploma, and then I was like, wait, I don't know if I actually have a piece of paper or anything, but to the best of my knowledge, I have a high school diploma.
How many bands were you in when you were in high school?
2. I think I was in a band when I was 10 years old, when I still lived in Texas. And then when I moved out to LA, I started another band when I was 13. And, you know, we won Battle of the Bands once, you know, like all the iconic shit, you know. And then I think when I went into high school, I started another band, more of like a punk rock band. And I did that for a while, for a couple years. And after that, I started another band that was more alternative. And then finally, I had enough of being in a band. And it was like, you know what, like, I like making music. I like telling stories with my music. That's the actual thing that's important to me. That's what I actually love. Like, I don't need a really, like, a group to collaborate with creatively. Even though it's weird though, because now as a solo artist, as a rapper, it's like I have more people that I collaborate with now, like producers or like just like friends in the studio hanging out. It's like it's all part of the process.
Moving to LA, was that for your parents' career or?
Yeah, they just wanted to. I think they had enough of like Dallas, like kind of the. To be honest, I don't even know. I think they just wanted to move here. So it was like, you know, I'm 12 years old. So I was like, I was like, I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to leave my friends. But then, you know, I was like, California is cool. So it wasn't a bad transition at all.
Where were you at when you finished high school?
When I finished high school, I was in a punk band. I was touring around a little bit, and I decided to sort of stop that and start a new thing. And that's like when I started like partying a lot. And that's like another big thing of my story. But I started drinking, getting high a lot, and then in the midst of, you know, like, I think like it takes a lot of like, it takes like courage, and it takes like a lot of commitment to build your own career, you know, like as a artist, it's difficult, you know. You have to go through a lot of like steps to get things moving. And like when I was partying and stuff, I had that sort of fallback, so I wouldn't have to like get up and really like face like, okay, we gotta put the music out. What are people gonna say? What are all these like little things that, you know, go through your head? And like as like a way to avoid that, I just got more and more into partying, and then, you know, landed myself in rehab a couple years later. And like,
yeah, at that point you said in previous interviews you said your bandmates like were leaving you, and then your like girlfriend of 5 years left you. That was kind of like your realization.
No. I mean,
point.
that was like the rock bottom for me. It was like, you know, like I remember like the guys I used to be in a band with, like they came up to me and they're like, yo, like what are you doing? You know, like, where have you been the past couple weeks? And why are these new songs not done? Like you said, you're gonna go finish up lyrics. It's been like 3 weeks, it's 4 songs, you know? Like, come on, like, what are you doing? And at this point, like, when they were, like, asking me this, I'm, like, literally, I didn't even know. You know, I was like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about, you know? And it's, like, that's when, like, everything kind of got out of control for me, and I was, like, just drunk all day. And but also it was, like, all right, I gotta stop. And then when I tried to stop and I couldn't, that's when I was like, oh. I'm like, wait, hold on. This is, like, drug addiction right here. I'm like, this is why it's a thing, you know? It's like when I was really trying to stop and I could not stop getting high or getting drunk, and it was like this, like, thing took over. And but yeah, like, my bandmates quit, my girlfriend at the time. I was running around, you know, when you start lying in a relationship to go get fucked up by yourself, you know, or like to do anything, it ruins the relationship, you know. And so that part of me, like, that all that shit just really, like, took off and hit a rock bottom. Luckily, I'm thankful I'm alive, you know, and I got the chance to go to rehab and got, you know, get that second chance, which is great.
You checked yourself in, though, right? Like, or did people help you?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it's like, okay, like, getting into rehab shit, it's like a whole process, because you really don't, like, nobody wants to go to rehab, you know? It's like, you have to be like, you have to put your, like, hands up and be like, oh God, you know, like, I fucked up, you know, I give up, let's try this, you know? You have to get to this point of being just, like, hopeless. And that's, like, the point where I was at. I was like, okay, you know what, like, how I'm living my life right now is not working. Like, I'm not happy, I feel isolated, I'm hurting people around me, like, shit like that. So it was like, you know, what have I got to lose? Like, let's try this. And so that was like, because I think if you're sent to somewhere like that, you're not ready for it, really. You have to, like, be ready to, like, change and shit. So that was, like, luckily that happened to me.
Yeah. Did your parents know the whole time about your addiction?
Not really, because I was, like, just kept to myself, you know? Like, I wasn't necessarily, like, the way I would, like, party was, like, not, I wouldn't be the center of attention at a party. Like, I wouldn't go to parties. I would just use, you know? I would just get drunk and high to escape my head, really, you know, that was at that point messed up. So, it was hard for people, you know, you couldn't really tell. And so I wouldn't tell people about that, because I didn't want to admit to myself that it was, like, something not normal about how I was doing shit.
And then were you making music the whole time, like, after your band kind of dismantled?
Yeah, after that, and then I was, you know, after I got out of rehab, it's like you have to kind of, like, take like baby steps to kind of, like, learn how to, like, deal with life, you know, without that that coping mechanism, because you get so used to that. And so that was, like, a process, and a big part was writing music. It was, like, really important that I, like, do that, because that creative energy is, like, it keeps me sane, it keeps me, like, knowing what I'm going through, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And I started, so, like, and when I was getting, like, fucked up all the time, I couldn't write. I didn't know what to write about, what to talk about. Like, it was just all over the place, all over the place. And then when I got sober, it was, like, clear. And then, like, you become yourself again, you know? So you're like, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, music, I love music. Why am I tripping over stupid parts of it? Or, like, why am I, you know, you just get over all the stupid stuff that comes with it. You know, and, like, as soon as I, you know, got out of there, just, like, creatively, doors opened all over. So,
oh wow. So you were putting stuff out alone, or how was it?
I wasn't putting anything out for a little bit. I was just writing stuff. I was kind of figuring out like what I wanted to do, because you know, even that, and now we're talking about like 3 years ago, and like from music from that era to now, it's already changed so much. And it's like I didn't know what I wanted to do musically, so it was like finding out, because I didn't even know how I was as like a person, you know. So as soon as I kind of like grew up a little bit, you know, then it was like the music that matched that I started making, and then collaborating with different producers. I kind of found like my own voice and my like thing more. And then as soon as that happened, that's when I started dropping stuff. And like,
how were you connecting with people? Was it like connects from your band back then, or like how did you meet people like after you started being a solo artist?
Let's see, like I mean, I knew a lot of people from before and stuff, but like a lot of people, we would like, I moved out of, so when I went to rehab, then I went to sober living, and then after that I went and got a space with a couple friends of mine. We'd throw parties and stuff, and it's like in the middle of like LA, like Melrose area, where like there's just a lot of like culture and music and fashion and shit. So we'd throw these parties and we would just meet tons of artists and tons of like designers and like cool people like that are on like that same wave, and like DJs and producers and all this stuff. So like that way is how I met a lot of people. I met like certain people like Reggie Mills through that, like another friend that like that's the guy who introduced me to Famous Dex. And then I met this guy like Mike Gonsolin, who's this engineer dude that lives around there. And then, you know, you just start meeting people, and like I remember like, I don't know, there were like a lot of people that would just come to those parties. I don't even really know, like
was it difficult though, like after rehab? It was still this kind of like party lifestyle, or were you? It
took me a minute. Like I had to have a break. I had to have like 6-7 months where I was not in that environment, and then I would I would like see, you know, you see alcohol, you see shit, and then it becomes easier to be around it because you're not like on edge, you know, and you just like, and as my life got better and better, it just got easier. It's just like, you know, like I remember what that was like for me when I do this. It's horrible. So I'm like, don't do that again. Do something else. And so it kind of was. It was easy, you know. And it still is. Like I still have like my lifestyle's like not like, I'm not like someone who's like, you know, goes to bed early. You know, like I'm going out. Like I'm having fun. I'm like living. I'm actually, you know, and it's like a party lifestyle, but it doesn't have that like dark undertone, you know, like
so, you can limit yourself, or
well, no, I don't drink, I don't do any drugs, so I'm like out, I'm just having fun, you know, I'm just like enjoying myself, meeting people, talking to people, and like just do like shit that I like. I don't know.
Was it difficult going from being in kind of bands and like other people with you the whole time to being a solo person? Then you can make all your own decisions, like
I thought it was going to be, but it was really easy because even though it's me, I'm really like, you know, every great artist has like a great team around them, you know, behind them, that like it's their friends that they support you, that know your vision, that support that vision, that go with you, you know. And it's like, it really is like a team effort. Like with what I do, it's like I'm the face, and like I may come up with the ideas, you know, but like there's a lot that goes into putting music out, going on tour, that like you really are, you're like as good as your team, you know. And like so I thought it was going to be a more lonely process, but it really is not. It's really similar, actually.
How did you go from the band stuff to rap though?
I was always really into lyrics, you know. Lyrics were always really important to me, and the part of like rock music, alternative music, is like I just don't care to hear general lyrics like that are like you know, that don't tell you anything specific about the person. And it's like you listen to it and it's like, okay, you know, like you're just like, what, like who cares? Like I wanna listen to music and feel like I know the person and like bring that like that personal touch to it. And that was something like, it was like with rap, it's like it's all about that. And you know, it doesn't have to be serious, you know, but it's still, even in a light-hearted way, like you can say stuff that's like, you know, means something to you.
Did you always realize you could rap though, or?
No, not really. Like, I'm more of like the thing is with me, like I'm an artist first, and then I'm a rapper. Or like then like it's more about like the writing of the songs. It's more about like the presentation, and like it was like it wasn't that much of a transition really, because the like punk rock is very similar in like the spirit of like do whatever you want. It's about real expression. It's about just stuff like that. Like it wasn't this like crazy. It wasn't like I was doing like mindless pop music and then I was like, now I'm gonna do like hip hop. You know, it was like punk rock and hip hop are like both real expressions. You know, and it's like I don't know, like it feels like the same, honestly.
Yeah.
But then it's too that like certain people will listen to my music and they won't think it's hip hop at all, and some people that like will think it's like totally hip hop and not like, it doesn't have anything to do with like punk rock. But it's like, I don't know, to be honest, like I don't really care. It's like I just do my music and this is like what I do.
How did you meet Smokepurp?
Smokepurp, I was introduced to him through my friend Reggie Mills, who I was talking about earlier. We were in New York and we were just, I think it was like during, I always end up for some reason like in cities during fashion week. I don't, like, it's not something I plan. Like, I don't really care about fashion that much. I like it, but like I'm not gonna go out of my way to go somewhere for like fashion week really. But I ended up there, you know, and then he hit me up. He was like, yo, Smokepurp's doing a session, you want to come by? And I came by. I played him I played him a couple songs. Like the first one, he was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. And then I played him one, Devil on My Shoulder, and that was like, he was like, oh, yo, this is sick. I'm like, okay. I'm like, do a verse, you know, like, do a verse on it, you know. And he's like, he works so fast. Like he just did a verse real quick, and then like after that too, like we actually had one video already for it, and we put it out, and like he like hit me up. He's like, no, let's do like a real video. Like I like the song, like it deserves it. Like I'll hit up my boy Louis Knows and shit. And so I was like, okay. I mean, I'm like, you know, if he's excited about it, like I like that energy. So I'm like, okay. So we reshot a video and did that.
How about with Playboi Carti?
Okay, of course I say the Fashion Week thing. Okay, like Playboi Carti was, I was introduced to him through Hit Boy, which is a producer that has become like a really good friend of mine, and he's also one of the most ridiculous producers ever. And when I first met him, I was like, oh my god, you're a genius. And then I just became friends with him, and that was like a thing where he was recording. I think he was working on his album, his like latest album, Die Lit or something. And he was at Hit Boy's place, and I went by. We met there. Then I ran into him at ended up at Fashion Week Paris, of course, you know. And I don't even know. I think I went out to Paris just because I hadn't really been there before. So I was like, let me go there and like just write music, and just like I was really inspired at this point. This was over the summer, and I ran into him there again, and we just started talking about the song, and it was a Hit Boy track, and so, you know, he's a huge fan of him too. So he was like, and we also like really connected on fashion, because every time I saw him, he's like, yo, what type of jacket is that? And like I like it, exactly what I said. I like it, but I don't really care. So I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, I just found it at like some thrift shop, or like, I'm like, I don't even know what brand it is, what I'm wearing. Like, I don't even know what this, like, I just know this like kind of looks cool, so put it on. You know? I don't know. I don't really care about that shit. Yeah. So, but like he, you know, like we both were kind of like, yo, that's a cool jacket, and I'd be like throwing him compliments and shit, and it's like that same like artistic. I think he's, and you could tell by his like last video and like his whole album that he's like really into that like punk rock old scene, you know, and that's like where like I know all about that shit. So it's like we just hit it off like that, and then we ended up doing a song. But that was through like Hip War and stuff.
And how was touring with Tekashi compared to the other tours you've been on?
I love it. So the other tours we were on were all like a blast. Like honestly, touring is so much fun, and like the crowds, like it's all like, you know, you play a good show, there's a good crowd, there's a good energy, like it's unbeatable. It's a great feeling. It's just like, I love that, you know. But like touring with 6ix9ine, it's like they became like our really good friends, like like him and like his crew. Like when they come to LA, like, you know, like we're like the first people that they'll call, be like, yo, what's up? And then it's just weird because we're all like really similar, like our crew, their crew and shit. And so touring with him was just like a blast because we're all really good friends. So like the second tour because I did 2 tours with him. I did one, both of them were in Europe, but the first one we kind of knew him, but we weren't like super close, you know. And it was just crazy because that was my first, I think that was my first tour actually, and so it was just like the first show right away, it was like, whoa, like what the hell, like, yo, this is crazy. Like the last show I played was in South by Southwest in front of like 15 people, you know. And then fast forward like 3 months, and I've been working every day on new music, and I've been thinking about like what's the next move, like we gotta get to this, we gotta do this, I wanna do this. And all of a sudden, you know, I'm like, I told my manager, like, I'm like, submit us on this tour, like let's try to get this opening spot. Not really knowing, like, not knowing them, you know, definitely not knowing them to a point where they'd be like, yeah, come on tour, and they're like, yeah, and I was like, whoa, I'm like, let's go, you know. And then the next, like, a week later, we're in Europe, and we're in Amsterdam, and I'm playing in front of like 4,000 people, and I'm like, yo, like what is this, you know? And it was just insane. It was so much fun, and it was like this crazy change of pace, because before I was saying, we were playing in front of 10 people, and then all of a sudden we're on tour with 6ix9ine. It was crazy. And then we went back out with him in September, and that was just like a riot, because that was like we all be at like the same hotel, you know, and like we show up, and it's just like we're all like children, honestly. There's like we would just be running around hotels, like just being like just punk ass kids, like just having fun. You know, he's with his friends, I'm with my homies, and like we all know each other now, so it's just like, oh, you know, we're going to Belgium tonight. We're like, this is so weird, you know, like we're all, because like even for him, like he's a superstar, but like it hadn't even been a full year since he blew up, since we were touring together. So like it's still new to them, it's extremely new to me, you know. So it was like we're still like, what the hell are we doing? Like we're over in like Germany, like I've never been to Germany before, like this is cool, like, and we're just, you know, like it was just a blast. It was like, it's too much fun, honestly. What
was your initial reaction to the recent news about him?
I just know that he's a good dude, and like it's like sometimes like people, I feel like he's a target, you know, like I feel like I feel like people are really like trying to take him down. It's just like it's just, I don't know, it's like of all the people in the world that have done, you know, fucked up shit or whatever, or come from that background, like, you know, she's like one of the guys that like goes and gives his money to people on the street from other countries, you know, and that like takes care of his friends, and like, I don't know, like it's just kind of stupid. But like, I honestly though, like, I don't know anything about the actual charges, like, so I'm just like talking. When he got off the other case, I know he was stressed out about that. So when he got off of that, it was like, oh cool, like, okay. But then then the new one comes, and it's just like, are you serious? Like, okay. I'm like, Jesus, you know?
What was the inspiration behind your music video, like the tattoo?
Oh, the tattoo?
Yeah.
Well, that was like, so we're talking about, it's this new video, It's Me Again. And, like, and that was actually the guys that do all 6ix9ine's videos. Those are really like some of our best friends and stuff. And so they were doing the video for that one. And we all went to Houston for like a weekend. And we actually had no idea like what we were gonna do for a video. And so we're just like doing normal scene, like, okay, I'll perform in a car, you know, normal like rap shit. And then I'm like, this is like, I was like, yo, like, like, would it be like, I was like, I wanted to get like a picture of myself tattooed on my back. Like, why? Because it's just like the dumbest thing I could think of, you know? I don't know why. I'm just really into like stupid tattoos right now. Like, that's been like my thing. I have like, just like, I have a car.
Yeah, actually, like, what are your tattoos?
Yeah, I have like candy.
Do a little.
Yeah, like I got like Starburst, gummy bear, a Mercedes, a birthday cake, you know what I mean? Like, LOL, like, jet skis, like, they're the worst tattoos ever, you know? Like, and so I was like, you know, and I think, like, me and my friends, like, we always, like, want to top each other, you know? So it's like, oh, you got this tattoo? I'm like, I'll show you. I'm like, you want, like, I'm like, I'll get the dumbest tattoo of all. I was like, I'll get my face, you know? And so I got that, and I was like, let's just, like, this song, because the song's called It's Me Again, I'm like, let's just go full, like, you know, like, self-centered vibe, you know? And so, like, yeah, I got this tattoo. Good people at G6 Studios in Houston came by to the Airbnb and did the tattoo, and, like, I was like, yo, film, like, while I was getting the tattoos, all like last minute. And so he started filming, and I'm like rapping to the song, and so that's how the video came together. I don't know, I think it's like, it's just like, it's like a moment. The video is just ridiculous. So.
How do you think your music has changed compared to the early songs you've made?
I think it's just more exaggerated now. It's like, I think you just get to know, like, it's all like connected to like what was going on in like my life. Like, I'm more of an exaggerated person now, you know, like, sort of like, you just like highlight the things, like, you know, like I get into like really like punk rock performance style, so it's like people would kind of pick up that shit when I play live. And so it's like, okay, well, rather than like hiding that, like, just bring that up, like, be louder, be more like out there, unfiltered, you know, and like just tell your story. Like, so I have so much, like, I have so many like things that have, you know, gone on, that I have a lot of like stories and shit. So like, it's just more unfiltered, more of like everything, honestly. So it's just a little bit more aggressive. On the hard stuff's harder. And the love stuff is even more lovely.
Actually, with that, what does love mean to you?
Love? Oh, it's like everything. Come on. Like, I'm a romantic, obviously, you know, like, I'm an artist, so I feel shit, like times 10. I don't know, like, if I have a feeling about it, you know, like, I go in and literally all I do, I feel like everything art is just, you take a feeling and you exaggerate it, and you make it bigger than it needs to be. And you make it into a song, you make it into anything. So like, but love is like the strongest like shit, you know? And like, I'm not like, that's the thing too, like, I'm in rap, right? But like, I'm not trying to be tough. I'm just literally, I'm not tough person. Like, I'm gonna be the last person to fight. Like, I'm just like, it's not my nature. Like, I don't get anything out of fighting someone. If someone is like coming at me, like attacking me, like, I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you have your own view of me, and really it's like, cool. Like, that doesn't affect me in what I'm doing with my life. It doesn't, you know, like, someone else sharing their like toxic energy, it's like, I don't have time for that, you know? I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and like, I know what's important to me. And so when it comes to like love, it's like, that shit is important and it's great. But like, as far as like relationships, you know, like, that's also, it's because it's important to me. It's like, you just gotta be careful. You gotta take care of yourself, because, you know, out here you know, fall in love with a hoe if you're not careful. You don't want any of that mess, you know? And, you know, we've all done that, you know, or at least I have. It really goes into the creative process too, like all those emotions and stuff.
Last question: what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered as inspirational energy, honestly. Like that, I mean, that's what I could hope for, you know, to inspire some kid to like do something, leave something positive behind by with this music shit. And like, and actually, like, honestly, like, my story is like if you keep going at something, like, you can't lose unless you decide you've lost. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I could teach one person that, like, that's great. You know what I mean? Like, because I've gone through so many trial and errors. Like most other rappers in my like sort of league, like on like my level right now, it's their first time making music. You know, it's like, I've done like 4 songs and I'm on tour now, and it's like, nah, like, I've been doing this for 10 years plus. Like, I've failed over and over again, but I still love it and I'm still going after it. And it's like, it's that perseverance shit. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye, guys.